Hey everybody out there, it's Timothy here with Mana Rocks. We're going to jump into another M19 draft here in just a second as soon as it pops up. I do want to apologize for my previous video. The sound was kind of off. I have switched over to new recording software, which I'm getting kind of the hang for. And I think what happened last time was I had two different audio inputs recording at the same time. So my voice came out with just like a very quick echo, and it led to it sounding like there was kind of a metallic voice going on, which sounded not great. I know I'm not a big fan of watching videos where the sound quality is not too great, so I don't expect a lot of other people were, but I would give the matches a shot. They were really interesting games, even though I kind of mumbled through all of them. But we're here in another one. Hopefully the sound is different this time, so feedback would be great. Also, the video quality, I think, should be a little bit better with the new recording software, so if there's any input about that, let me know. But for now, let's go and focus on our pack. Two cards standing out to me right away. Those are Regal Bloodlord and Lich's Caress. I think Bloodlord's fantastic, although I haven't gotten a chance to play it, and you can definitely build around it once you've picked it. Although it is a gold card, there's not a lot of splashing going on in this set. Gold cards, you can pick up like some of these dual lands and make them work, but I think I'm fine just snapping off Lich's Caress here. Probably the best common in the set. Good removal is kind of key in this format. I feel like you win more matches when you have the removal to back up your cards, and when you don't, you lose those matches. Kind of sucks to pass up on a pretty good gold card there, but I think Lich's Caress is a better first pick, or a safer first pick. Maybe not going to win you a game the same way Regal Bloodlord would, but Lich's Caress will still get the job done for what it's worth. Two Ether Tunnels here. A pretty garbage rare, I think. I'm willing to bet there's some deck where this is busted, but I can't figure it out. And then a lot of green and black cards. No red cards in the entire pack. Somebody took an uncommon out of this pack, possibly a Lightning Strike or something like that. And Lockstone Linebreaker is the only white card in the pack. I'm not going to be huge on our second pick here, but Colossal Dreadmaw, Vampire Neonate, and Macabre Waltz are all fine. I think I'm going to pick up Neonate. It can lend itself towards a control path where Lich's Caress is also going to be good. And I don't know that I'm going to be a Colossal Dreadmaw deck yet, so just grab Neonate and see what happens. And I don't mind getting a Bloodletter here. There's also Departed Deckhand, which is pretty good. I've lost to this card and also won games with this card. It's obviously very good. Druid of the Cowl is pretty solid, but I like staying on color here as long as I can and picking up Bloodletter. Just a solid creature, probably a little bit worse than Deckhand, about on par with Druid of the Cowl. Volley Veteran is really the only other card I haven't mentioned that I would consider taking here, and Doom Dissenter's good, but I would always take Bloodletter over Dissenter unless I was specifically a sacrifice deck. Worth noting, all three of our cards here fit in the life gain deck, although I don't expect to get back a Regal Bloodlord, so that kind of sucks. About now is where I really want to look towards signaling here, and we're seeing not a lot of green, not a lot of white. Trusty Pack Beast and Lockstone Linebreaker are like the only white cards we've really seen. There's Salvager of Secrets, Aviation Pioneer, Shock. Shock's fine. Shock is a little bit overrated. It's not first pick removal, but it is removal nonetheless, and can be really good against those aggro decks that I keep talking about. I think I'm actually going to take Aviation Pioneer. I could take Doom Dissenter and really stick my guns to black, but I think Pioneer is fantastic in this format. I mean, maybe not fantastic in that it's great on its own, but if you end up being a blue-black control deck of some sort, Aviation Pioneer is very good against those control decks, or those go-wide decks. Just two bodies really lets you punish the decks that try to go wide, especially when they're running a bunch of 1 toughness creatures. And you get a flyer and an artifact, both of which are relevant. Pegasus Courser and Bloodletter here. I'm just going to snap up another Bloodletter. I'm not tied to blue by any means, but it looks like black is one of our definite colors, so happy taking that. Here's a bunch of white stuff out of nowhere. I guess that's another Pegasus Courser, but I'm not too into it. Frilled Sea Serpent is the type of finisher you get when you don't get other finishers. Not really into it. And then we have Doom Dissenter plus Sky Scanner, both fine cards. I'm going to pick up Sky Scanner here and hope to wheel some of these Doom Dissenters that are coming around. Again, our second color is a little bit up in the air right now. Green and blue both seem very viable. I think cancel is a little bit more towards what I want with what I have here. One good removal spell, some flying attackers. In fact, 4 of our creatures produce flyers. There's not really anything else. It's one of these 2 cards for sure, and I already have a blue card, so I might as well anticipate cancel. Wow, that is a 8th pick Electrify. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but I'm going to grab it. It's definitely a signal that or this pack was just stacked with absurd red cards. And I could splash this, or I could end up being black-red, so who knows. But it's definitely the best card in the pack, and I'm a little surprised to see a card that good this late. Next up, we've got a whole bunch of unplayables. One with the machine is pretty bad. You have to have a very specific kind of deck to make this even remotely playable, and a deck with a single Skyscanner is not going to cut it. Ghost Form is nothing. Goblin Motivator could be a card if I end up more aggro, but that's not really what I'm leaning towards right now. And then I don't really want Duress or Ghost Form. It's going to be Infectious Horror or Meandering River. I'm just going to pick up the Mana Fixer in the off chance I somehow splash white or something like that happens. And Wall of Mist. If we end up being a flyer deck, I'm fine playing a Wall of Mist, especially in a control deck. Doom Dissenter coming back is nice. I'll pick up a bunch of these. Feel like we're going to get the rest, yeah. If the first Doom Dissenter is coming back, I expect to get a couple more Doom Dissenters. I like it better than Hired Blade. It trades for the same kind of creatures, at least once you get the 2/2, and if we end up with any of the sacrifice stuff, it's pretty good. Mind Rot's a playable that I'm not usually into playing. I would look to splash this Electrify, though. Smelt and Shaboom. So not a lot of raw beef in that pack, but we ended up with a couple good removal spells in Lich's Caress and possibly Electrify. Some pretty decent creatures and a significant early game plan here. Aviation Pioneer, Wall of Mist, Double Doom Dissenter, and a 1-drop 0/3 are things that can block while our flyers get the job done. So we've got the shell for a control deck here. With the colors I've already drafted, I would love if there was just a Nicol Bolas in this pack, but I kind of always want there to be a Nicol Bolas in my packs anyway, so it's kind of whatever. Let's see what we open. Could waffle around. I'm by no means tied to blue. Might not be tied to very much either. That is a Pelakka Worm. That is a Pelakka Worm, but triple green means you have to be green to make this card work. What else is there for us here? Just a bunch of green cards. Dryad Greenseeker also in the pack is kind of insane. There's no way I can run Pelakka Worm if I end up not being straight green. So maybe I just pass this and let people fight over green, cut each other. Not that that affects me very much, and take like... Oh, there's such a bad set of cards. I think since I'm not tied to a second color too tightly here, I can go ahead and take Pelakka Worm, and if I end up being black-green, then that works out. If not, I'm taking like Shock or a Dual Land or Abnormal Endurance. I'm just going to take Pelakka Worm. What in the world? Okay, well, maybe things have changed to us. This definitely means, let's see, a common is missing out of this pack, or possibly a foil. This means that either the person next to us opened a foil, or that was better than, some of these cards, or they are not green, which means we're going to get a bunch of green in this pack, but expect green to be cut in the next pack. Double Pelakka Worm's kind of a thing, right? Play the control game until we get to our worm. Now we want to kind of force green-black here. Going to pick another Lich's Caress here, although this pack is kind of stacked. Druid, Divination, Boggart Brute, Sift, Colossal Majesty, Blood Divination, Lich's Caress, Spark-Tongue Dragon. These are all good cards. Druid of the Cowl would be kind of important here, but I think we can stall the early game, get to our triple black or triple green cards, have good removal. It's the plan, right? Draconic Disciple, huh? This still requires the splash for black or the splash for red in order to work. Let's go and move some blue cards over. This looks just ridiculous. I could see picking up like a Macabre Waltz or a Rise from the Grave. I don't know for a fact whether I'm going to be able to splash yet either, and there was another video where I took this and ended up not playing it off of a splash of red because it doesn't really fix your mana if you already have to have your splash color in order to play it in the first place. So I'm thinking like Rise from the Grave here. Macabre Waltz would also be pretty darn good with double Pelakka Worm. I have an Infectious Horror that I would like to upgrade into a Skeleton Archer at some point. I'm going to take Rise. With double Witch's Caress, I could see that going quite well, and I will snap up this Gravedigger here. Would not mind Nightmare's Thirst either. There's some decent blue cards, and we're probably going to get some more Doom Dissenters, but I'll grab some Gravediggers. Here I could take a Centaur Courser just to kind of fill the curve. Or I could take Blood Divination, which seems like it'd be pretty good with double Doom Dissenter. Other than that, I don't really have creatures I want to sacrifice. And I think I've got some okay things going on that I may not need a draw 3 in my deck if it costs me a real card to play it. Child of Night, a little bit worse than Greenwood Sentinel, but maybe a little more important to our deck to make sure we stay alive. I'm anticipating getting at least a couple more Doom Dissenters based on how this draft is going, so I don't think I need to snap up 2 drops. I think we're just going to take a curve filler that can attack or trade off. And follow that up with something that's not really going to excite us here. Blanchwood Armor looks bad. Not really a black card I'm interested in playing. Sovereign's Bite is kind of not really a card we're interested in here. Could see playing a Titanic Growth. It's pretty unexciting, right? Probably the pick, though. Alright, here's some stuff. Thornhide Wolves, Bristling Boar. Got enough 5-drops that I think I just want to prioritize the Boar over the Thornhide Wolves. Epicure of Blood, a little bit worse than Thornhide Wolves unless you're all in on black-white. And then some blue cards. Again, I'm expecting not to get a lot of green in this last pack. Shock shouldn't be wheeling. Shock's not amazing, like I said, but it probably shouldn't be wheeling out of the packs. A lot of red in this pack, just not a lot of red drafters at this table. Guess that makes sense given that I got an 8th pick Electrify, which I might not be able to play here. We'll see. I might wheel that red-green land out of the first pack. Or rather, my opening pack from this one. I'm not interested in taking anything here, but I could see myself playing just a random 2-drop. Act of Treason, not great. Nothing here is great. I'm just going to take another Titanic Growth. I really don't like Duress. Wow, what in the world? Okay, these are some weird cards to see this late in the pack. Spark Tongue and Divination for sure. I'm going to take Timber Gorge because it helps with the Electrify. Kind of helps with the Blockworm, but not really. And yeah, I'll take this thing now, even if we don't end up playing it. I'm trying not to be 3 colors, I really am. I'm also trying not to draft every single Titanic Growth at the table, but if that's what you get, that's what you get. I mean, I want to play my Pelakka Worms. You don't always get 2 Pelakka Worms, so when you get them, you want to play them, right? Our deck could actually use something like Shock to take... Whoa, oh my god. What was I saying? My deck could use Shock to take advantage of some of the early game stuff, since we have decent late game removal and Double Witch's Caress and Electrify. This card is an absolute bomb. Sorry, I'm comparing my blue to my green here. Double Pelakka Worm versus Patient Rebuilding. Patient Rebuilding is insane. I also really don't want anything else in the pack, so I think I'm going to take it at the very least. If the green creature plan doesn't seem like it's going to be pretty good, we can board into this Patient Rebuilding plan with like the Pioneer, the Wall, and the Cancel. But I don't expect to see a lot of green in this pack. This isn't really something we can splash unless we pick up a bunch of whatchamacallit's Gift of Paradises in this pack, which I don't see happening. Highland Lake. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be planning on splashing Patient Rebuilding, but this could be a sideboard plan. As long as I end up with enough playables for my main deck, which right now, with Infectious Horror in the deck, we're at 18 playables. That seems reasonable. Elvish Rejuvenator seems fine here. I don't really want Highland Game. Not really looking for Thornhide Wolves here. Centaur Courser's fine. Brawl Bash, not really what I'm looking for this deck either. Rejuvenator seems pretty good when you have double Pelakka Worm and Lathliss. Alright, well this just got really silly. I need a Gift of Paradise bad. Do I take Lathliss? I could just, you know, as Marshall from LR says, be an adult and take Skymarch Bloodletter, but I'm not really feeling like an adult right now, am I? I am adult enough to know not to take this Magistrate Scepter. Take Rupture Spire here. Rupture Spire helps with the red splash, which looks like it's going to be for potentially 3 cards here. Going to make our mana really bad with triple green, double red, double black. We're just going to lose to our own mana, but these are the type of drafts I like having in the first place. Spark Tongue is kind of cool, but Rupture Spire seems dope here. Another Electrify, wow. There's also Rabid Bite. I think since green is my primary color, I should just take Rabid Bite. There's also Foul Orchard and Arcane Encyclopedia, which could both be good. Rabid Bite is only going to be so good with the creatures I already have. Actually, I really don't have that many early game creatures that Rabid Bite's that great with. So I might just take an Electrify here and just commit to 3 colors. This is a very awkward draft. I want this Foul Orchard. I want all 3 of these, but I can't have all 3. And I want the Encyclopedia too. Can't have everything though. I don't have any Death Touchers that make Rabid Bite great. I'm just going to pick up Electrify. Wow, this card's also pretty good. Picking up a red card out of this pack. Could take a Plummet here. That doesn't seem good. We are just full-on committed to 3 colors, aren't we? That is not where I wanted to be. The problem is I could cut a lot of this green here and just kind of roll with the red-black, but then I've got double Pelakka Wurm. And that's not really a great place to be. Gutter Snipe seems okay. Goblin Instigator is probably more important. Draconic Disciple number 2. We've got very high-quality cards, but we're not going to be able to cast our spells. Submerged Boneyard, not quite the land I want to wheel in this situation. Hired Blade is a card, I suppose. Brawl Bash got a little bit better. We do just have like a solid red-black control deck here, don't we? If I cut most of the green, but then I've got these stupid Pelakka Wurms sitting here staring at me in the face. Alright, Wall Vines to the board, Spark Tongue. I might cut the green here and just see what it looks like. Foul Orchard helps. I mean, I have 3 ways to splash green. You can't splash Pelakka Wurm, right? Someone talk me out of it. Someone who's not here, talk me out of it. Let me just see real quick. If I cut all the green, take these out, that's 23 cards. But I gotta mess my mana up pretty bad to play these things. I have no way to splash. I guess I have Draconic Disciples, but as I mentioned last time, people tend to kill this card when they see it, so you can't count on it being mana fixin'. I have a stupid Patient Rebuild in. Man, give me 2 Gift of Paradises and I would just play everything. If I don't play the Pelakka Wurms, what am I playing? Woodland Stream. Island. Alright. I'm going to play some Pelakka Wurms. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. This is just going to be stupid. I'm going to play a red-black deck with 2 triple green cards. Am I going to do that? Am I going to do that? What's my alternative? Playing Mind Rot and Crash Through? I'm already kind of playing these Draconic Disciples. Oh my god, this is so bad. Let me see what the... I don't even know. Let me see what the suggestion is here. 5 green, 5 red, 7 black. I guess I should color sort here. We knew we weren't going to get green in that last pack. But red was fairly open that whole time. We did not show a lot of restraint in this this particular game. Oh, I have this stupid Infectious Horror. I think I'd rather have Mind Rot here. Infectious Horror is not going to win us games. I wouldn't mind the Elvish Rejuvenator either, but off of a splash, I'm kind of off of it. This is saying I need just as much green as red. I guess I have 4 green cards, but I have significantly more red. This is just not good. Alright. Well, at any rate, we're going to go add in some of these bad boys. add in the Rupture Spire. And I'm just going to do some counts real quick. So if I were to play this, I have 6 green sources, which not really great. I have 5, 6, 7 red, also not great, and then 6, 7, 8 black, which is also not great. But I'm going to do it. Yeah, we're going to do it. All right. I have faith. I need everybody to have faith in me here for my double red, triple green, double black cards. And hopefully this stuff just stalls the game long enough. But anyway, oh, this thing's in my deck too. Oh, gross. Yeah, this was not... This is how not to draft 101 unless you want to get train wrecked by your mana. Worth noting, I can board into blue here if things really call for it. I have Submerged Boneyard and Woodwind Stream to kind of waffle a little bit on my colors. I have 4 blue cards. Guess I have some green too. Is it right to cut red and play my green instead? But then I'm playing a bunch of Titanic Growths. Is it better to splash red? Let me see real quick. So add that. Yeah. I'm gonna build a new deck real quick. Let me just see this real quick. So if I take the red out, or if I just splash red for like Electrifies, what do I end up with? I don't really do this very often, build a second deck in Limited, but it's possible. Our card quality is really strong, like I said. Oh no, we're imagining we're cutting the red, but playing like Electrifies off of our splash. So then we end up possibly playing these. This is 20 playables. 4 red cards as a splash. What do we lose out on, though? I can always play, like, a Titanic Growth. I can play Brawl Bash off the splash. And I guess if I'm splashing, like, Lathliss or something like that, Spark Tongue seems a lot worse. This makes it easier to cast the Pelakka Worms, but harder to cast the red cards. And I miss out on some 2-drops and a Spark Tongue this way, which doesn't seem that bad. So let me add in the mana again, sort by color. This time we have red as the splash. Oh, this is color sorted. Ugh. This makes us look like a full-on 3-color deck rather than splashing green for triple green cards. And that's probably about right. So this way we would end up with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 black sources, which is clearly not enough. 2, 4, 6, 8 green sources, which is probably too many. And then 2, 4, 5, 6 red sources. I think I'm just going to go with the first deck. Yeah, either way I'm kind of screwed. Yeah, either way I'm kind of screwed. I'm going to go to the primary deck here, and we're just going to hope to get a little bit lucky on our mana. What a mess. What a mess. All right. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and see what we can do, and I'll see y'all in match 1. All right, so everything aside here, we're going to dump this hand just because it doesn't have enough lands and not be happy about it anyway. Witch's Caress, Pelakka Worm, Rise from the Grave. This is probably a mole, but maybe we'll hit a red source on top. Opponent mold as well. We just can't cast any of our spells. We have to hit one of our red sources in order to cast this Disciple. Oh, and we're on the draw. I guess the opponent mulligan. Maybe that's something. See if they scry to the top or the bottom. I don't have a lot of faith for our deck here. I really don't. Yeah. Although if we don't hit a 3rd land in the first place, it's not going to matter too much. Daggerback. Doesn't pressure us too much. Alright, I'll take something I can at least play, I suppose, over something completely uncastable. We're already regretting our life decisions. Oh, opponent's just going to curve out into Goreclaw here. That's pretty gross. Well, we can just concede this game and go to the next one since we have to draw perfectly to do anything. And yeah, I'm just going to submit the deck as it is and see what we can do. That was just a bad draw. Regardless of what our cards were, I think given any iteration of our deck, 2 lands is not going to cut it against what our opponent has there. I am going to play first and hope to have just a very land-heavy hand. This seems playable. Certainly seems playable. Goblin Instigator into possibly Skyscanner or Draconic Disciple. Disciple into maybe Rise from the Grave. Wonder if the opponent's mono green. Should have maybe had him show us more cards. But again, though, if we don't draw a 3rd land at all, then it doesn't matter what the composition of our deck is, right? So here comes Druid. Seems pretty bad for us. All right. I mean, whatever. It's kind of obnoxious that our deck's already bad, and then the game decides they just don't want to give us any mana. Also, my opponent curved out into Goreclaw there. Foul Orchard a little bit late. Guess we have Electrify for Goreclaw, but they can just play a turn 4 Colossal Dreadmaw here. And they can attack for 5 as well. Hey, look, turn 4 Colossal Dreadmaw. Well, this game's over. This game is significantly over. I guess we draw perfectly. Land into land, we can go kill this, kill this. Or we could draw a Vampire Neonate. Yeah, this game is definitely over, especially since Homeboy gives their stuff trample there. Would have been fine if we hit a land on turn 3. We could electrify this, possibly Lich's Crest the next thing. Kind of sucks. I mean, our deck's bad, but that was more us just not having lands there. So, very quick game 1. We're going to try a second game here in just a moment. All right, we're back with another 1-lander. That's probably about as good as I can get. This isn't even terrible. Maybe I just want to draw lands all the time, so I'm going to go and ship that to the bottom here. I have all 3 colors of mana in this hand. Not that green really matters that much, but 3 hands in a row that have a lot of potential. Oh, I was supposed to play Rupture Spire there. Whoops. Yeah, just a lot of bad hands to start off with. Not that we have very many good hands, and we're against red-white on one of the decks we absolutely don't want to play against. It'd be fine. Doom Dissenter's pretty good against their deck. I will pay 1 like this, represent the shock. Pass the turn, I will 100% block with this Doom Dissenter. Play maybe Gravedigger. Brawl Bash isn't attacking anytime soon. Yeah, I'll play Brawl Bash. I'd rather get this back with Gravedigger than Doom Dissenter, I think. Ooh, opponent taking a turn to Torment and Voice means that they're not going to add a lot of pressure. And I can go ahead and just play Brawl Bash now. I was expecting to have to trade this off. Plus, we're going to play Lathliss on turn 6 if we get to draw 1 more land within the next 2 turns. So, question, oh, this has to attack. It's not just beginning of combat, it's whenever it declares an attack. I thought it was go to combat, sack a creature, but that's not quite how it works. So I can't sack my own Doom Dissenter here. I'm going to wait for the Electrify or the Luminous Bonds to hit this Brawl Bash Ogre. Ah, but maybe they won't have it. They took a turn off to Torment and Voice, so I'm assuming they didn't have a lot of action in their hand already. But at the very least, I mean, I guess we'll see how the turn shakes up. I think they want to add creatures to the board, but if they have removal and they kill this, I'll Gravedigger it back. If not, I'll go to combat and sack this to Brawl Bash Ogre and then play Gravedigger and just get Doom Dissenter back. Whatever they go ahead and suit up here, I assume I can just block with Doom Dissenter and soak up that damage. Upgrade my 1/1 into a 2/2 and then just Gravedigger that back instead. And Lathliss should be pretty dominant on this board, I think. Start getting some attacks in, I suppose. Oh no, they just have more 2-drops. Plague Mare. Well, we don't have that in our deck. I'm just going to sit back for now. Yes, I'll get that back. Here's where we look like we're actually a solid red-black deck. But joke's on you, we have two Pelakka Worms in our deck. Leonin War Leader is absolutely insane. It's gonna probably single-handedly beat us if they have an answer to Lathliss here. If not, I'm not sure how else this game is going. If they attack with it, I'm probably forced into blocking it and just hoping they don't have a huge answer for it. Pegasus Courser, huh? Okay, they still don't have good attacks. Oh, we draw a forest. We can play Pelakka Worm. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to attack with Lathliss, but I could probably attack with Brawlbash Ogre. I'd have to sack a creature to it, so I could play Doomed Dissenter and sack that. Lathliss can get in for 6, 7, 8, 9 damage this turn. And then I get hit back, they gain 2. At the very least, I think I want to play, I want to play Doomed Dissenter pre-combat. And I do think I'm going to go ahead and jam with these two. Let him go ahead and swing back. Sack Doomed Dissenter. I think we're in a racing situation for sure. Getting any number of creatures off for this Brawlbash seems pretty good. And then I'm just going to use all my mana to activate Lathliss here. So I deal 8 to them. They're going to gain at least 2 back next turn unless they have a big pump spell. Five, 6, 7 coming in. I think if they had like an Inspired Charge, they might swing the rest. Although I guess they don't want to leave themselves dead to our creatures. Let's see if they have tricks here. Oh, draw a forest off the top. That would be insane. Or draw the second Pelakka Worm. Ooh, Lich's Crest is great. So I can just go ahead and snap this off. Attack with Lathliss. And then clock him for 2 turns. Could even take out the Courser, but I want to take away any ability to gain life that they have. If I attack with everything, I actually 7 them this turn. It's not lethal. Still want to draw my forest off the top. We're not quite out of the waters because these red-white decks can just completely decimate you out of nowhere if they have the right cards. Ooh, and they just gain some life. Oh, attacking for 4. Alright, I'm going down to 14. Can't block anyway. Electrify again was a good draw. I think I'm just going to go ahead and swing with Lathliss. It's going to obviously be suspicious when I keep up mana, but I can pay once to hit him for 7. And then see if they want to go ahead and keep back their Pegasus Courser. If they do, I'll electrify it. Because if they have a flying blocker, they might just attack with their Courser anyway. But if they don't have another flying blocker or a way to deal with Lathliss, they'll probably keep Courser back. Or just keep everything back. Haha, they have a Lathliss of their own. Alright, that is problematic. That is problematic. 2 electrifies is something. I think I'm going to use 1 right away on Starcrown Stag. Or maybe I can let him do a bad attack of some sort. Yeah, I'm going to hold my Electrify. What happens if they attack with their Lathliss? I just don't block at all, right? I should probably kill Starcrown Stag before combat, though. 1 less blocker I have in case they have some massive pump spell. Drill Master. Hoping they put that on like Pegasus Courser or Starcrown Stag. Alright, let that happen. Drillmaster number 2. Ooh, please target Stag with that one. Oh, that one targeted Lathliss. Oh, I see. So, let me think before combat here, because they're going to go attack with Lathliss with 1 pump, that's 9. They're going to attack with Stag, which is going to tap my Lathliss, so I can't block that. They have 10 in the air, and then 3 blockers. They have no cards in hand. I electrify this, that's 10. And then I have blockers for their other creatures, or I can just electrify their Courser. Yeah, I think I let them attack here. Eight, 9. Yeah, so now I go electrify this, and then on my turn electrify Pegasus Courser, and that will be the game. If only this Pelakka Worm was something that wasn't a Pelakka Worm. Alright, we drew the forest. Oh man. Get out of here, Pegasus Courser. Get in there, Lathliss. Alright, that's game. So, yeah, we get to take a game off of red-white. Didn't see that coming. Pelakka Worm is good against red-white, but you need to be able to cast it, right? I don't really have sideboard options here. Just going to submit the deck again. We're looking to... Hey, if we can take a match, I'm happy, right? If we can take 1 match, I'm pretty happy. I don't know why this keeps popping up. Get that out of here. We're on the draw this time, though, so we're going to need a very cooperative hand here. Double Pelakka Worm, all 3 green sources, and some Dirtly cards. I can accept this. I hate that we just drew all the filler cards, too. Oh, our deck's bad. And they've got the turn 1 motivator? No! A bunch of tap lands here. Ugh. I think it's probably more important to get Neonate down first. Or I could play tap land Neonate next turn. No, I'm gonna get Neonate down right away. And then next turn, probably play Walk-in Corpse or get a tap land down and try to Mind Rot them. Oh, they didn't have a 2-drop. Yeah, so not a lot of pressure coming in. Now seems like a good turn to get a tap land down. So I can at minimum play a 3-drop next turn. You know, if they untap and play a Pegasus Courser, that's not the worst for me. I can go Timber Gorge into Goblin Instigator or Walk-in Corpse, whichever one seems better. Could even Mind Rot them if I thought that was really good. This is very nice for the opponent, because if they play a 4-drop, they're going to be able to Pegasus Courser it right away. Alright, so not really in love with Mind Rot in them here. I'm going to go Instigator into Timber Gorge. Doesn't seem like many of our other creatures are going to matter here. And probably have to end up electrifying Pegasus Courser. Fully expect a Starcrown Stag. I'll accept a Shieldmare. Yeah, if I electrify Pegasus Courser, then, you know, we can block. We're at 16. We've got some interaction. We've got a Spark-Tongue Dragon. 2 of our green sources already. Close to just Mind Rotting them out. I guess I wait to see... No, I'll leave this back in case they give something. I'll wait to see what they play first. If they play a bigger creature this turn, then I could just electrify Pegasus Courser right away. Maybe Electrified Motivator? That seems bad. Ooh, yes, please. Tormented Voice. Give me a turn off. Oh, another Courser. Man. Alright. Guess Spark-Tongue's pretty good against that. I'm going to Mind Rot them, though. So let's go and take out... I guess Spark-Tongue does match up well against Courser. Shieldmare's dealing the most damage, but gains them life. Yeah, let's just go ahead and take out a Courser, take 3 this turn, Mind Rot him, take 3 more. Maybe draw a Witch's Caress would be great. Can't even play this or use this ability if I Mind Rot this turn, or play Walking Corpse. Probably better to play Walking Corpse. Ooh, and we have the Forest. I do want to get their last 2 cards out of hand, although they Torment and Voiced. Probably didn't have an opportunity to play too much else. Could have some 5-drops in hand. Walking Corpse isn't actually going to matter much here. I'm going to attack with one of these. Don't really have a good justification for doing it. Let's go and Mind Rot them. Lightning Strike, Starcrown Stag. Wow. Okay, we got 2 really good cards out of their hand. So again, Walking Corpse isn't going to matter much here because I can't block their creatures anyway, so I might as well just activate the Neonate, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to play Walking Corpse. Probably should have attacked with the other Goblin. The real reason for thinking that was, oh man. Gave itself so they can hit me for 5 this turn. I get to resolve Spark Tongue Dragon. Kind of hoping I just draw Lathliss so I can, free roll this Spark Tongue for later on, which I'm not too far off from. But I don't have a way to deal with Pegasus Courser, and they would need to top deck a way to deal with Spark Tongue Dragon. As it is, I'm taking, 3 in the air, but mitigating it by 1. That's not the worst. Although they could just draw a big kind of monster off the top. Can't attack into them. Do I hold on to Spark Tongue here? It'd take at least 2 turns to activate it. No, I'm just going to play it. Apparently I'm in attackers. If I just flood out, it's going to feel bad. But I do want to kind of mitigate as much damage as possible. If I draw a Pelakka Wurm, I can cast it. And at the very least, I can start activating Neonate. If we see an attack here, then they drew something. Yeah. Alright. So we are on Neonate duty now, and hoping the opponent just doesn't draw too well before we draw some of our action. Single Pelakka Wurm would go a long way here. Alright, let's get them. Green. Woo! Boom, there's a Pelakka Wurm. Nonsense. Is there a reason to play my land here? I guess if I draw spells and want to Neonate in the same turn. Now I'm at a really healthy life total. I can probably attack with Spark Tongue and just accept 3 damage back. Opponent's like, quite the splash. Little do they know about the second Pelakka Wurm. Taking 3 back to deal 3. Yeah, gotta start killing them somehow. Neonate helps with this a little bit. Don't think their ground force is gonna do too much. Yep, expected that attack back. Doom Dissenter. Alright, kind of a do nothing there, but I can start jamming with P. Wormy and really close the gap between our life totals. Opponent's down to 8 all of a sudden. 7 with Neonate. Essentially 6 by the time I untap. And we got it. We're 1-1. Oh man, I hope people didn't just stop watching after that first match, because that was kind of dope. We're gonna run it back. Let's 2-3 this. Let's salvage our double Pelakka Wurm draft. 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're 1-1 with this. With this. This has to be a mulligan, right? We're on the draw. Bloodletter. Would I keep 3 lands and a Bloodletter? Whatever. We're gonna keep it. I have all my colors too. I could draw Draconic Disciples. I could draw anything. It would be fine. Just forests, please. This is a mulligan. If I were playing at a high stakes tournament, I would not have this deck in the first place, and I would have mulliganed that hand. Green white's not what I want to play against. They play a lot of creatures. I can deal with this though. Oh wow, the second forest. Alright. We're halfway there. We'll start playing out forests next turn. Skymarch Bloodletter does a pretty good job at doing stuff. Coming down, being relevant. We have only drawn 2 lands, though. Although, they're not adding more creatures to the board. Wow, okay. Or we could just draw 3 lands in a row. We are going to need to draw other spells before we potentially get this Pelakka Wurm down for things to be relevant, but I'm not going to argue too much. At the very least, I'm 2/3 of the way to casting a Pelakka Wurm, both CMC-wise and actual color cost-wise. Alright. Rejuvenator means I might have some big creatures in store next turn. I save another 1-drop. No. Alright, Draconic Disciple is kind of super good. Not going to attack. I want to conserve my life total, obviously. Now I'm only 2 turns away from Pelakka Wurm, assuming this thing lives. I expect some big creatures to start coming down, though. Opponent's going to start gaining life with Vanguard and can attack pretty freely with it. See if they have auras. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Knightly Valor. Ooh, Herald of Faith. That one's good. I wouldn't mind drawing an Electrifier or a Lich's Mastery, or a Lich's Caress here. Calling it, that's what I want. Alright, I do want to point out that given what I kept, I've drawn 1 additional spell. It's turn 5, so I've drawn 5 spells, or 5 cards, 1 of which was a spell and 4 of which were a land. Thankfully, we get to start casting Pelakka Wurms here. Probably trade off Skymarch Bloodletter for Leon and Vanguard. We also have great removal in our deck. Oh, they're not going to attack with this? Yeah, we have very good removal in our deck, so, you know, we're not just dead in the water to our opponent's curve. If they have a bunch of creatures here, then we might have trouble, but Pelakka Wurm, double Pelakka Wurm, we're going to go 2 Pelakka Wurms in a row. That does something. It gains us 14 life, for 1. Unless they untap and play a counter spell. They have a random Meandering River. Plus, we can turn this into a 5/5 at some point. Wow. Alright, that's 6 out of 5. 6 out of 5. 5 out of 6. Doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and play a Pelakka Wurm. Shaboom. And I feel like I'm supposed to hit my opponent for 2 here. Since I'm not blocking with it anyway. Pelakka Wurm holds the fort pretty well unless it gets Luminous Bonds or something like that, in which case I take 11 on the swing back. Untap and play another Pelakka Wurm. Pretty safe from a lot of green removal. Rabid Bite's not going to do it. Vivian's Invocation doesn't seem like it would fare very well here. Another 5-mana spell. Ooh, they do in fact have a Knightly Valor. We still have double Lich's Caress. I mean, we could just draw 1 off the top, kill this, their biggest threat, and then be fine. Could also trade Draconic Disciple for it and hope that works. Or we could trade a bunch of Gravediggers here. I'm going to attack with Pelakka Wurm, hopefully entice them to throw a bunch of creatures in front of it. Play the second Pelakka Wurm. They're probably not going to block. Yeah, we're going to go and get Pelakka Wurm number 2 down. Unfortunately, we've resolved 2 Pelakka Wurms and might still be losing. We're at 24, going down to 18 this turn. I'm kind of hoping they kill a Pelakka Wurm so I can Gravedigger it back. Talons of Wildwood. Alright, so they are green-white auras. They're going to dump a bunch on Herald. Another 4-drop as well. That's a Starcrown Stag, which is okay. Lich's Caress off the top. Lich's Caress off the top. Dark Dweller Oracle. Not quite. Does give me a lot of extra draws here, though. So I need 7 mana to activate this. 7, 10, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, they have enough to swing on us. Let's see. 1, 2. Just going to pass here. I'm going to try to go for the double block with my 2 flyers. Something tells me it won't work, but it's worth a shot. Alright, going straight to combat with 4 cards in their hand. Plus they're gaining a bunch of life. Alright, let's go ahead and let that resolve. Yeah. Then I'm going to go for the double block here. At the very least, I can like Gravedigger back Skymarch Bloodletter and hope that I can chump until I find a Lich's Caress. Electrifies don't do it anymore unless I draw 2 in a row. Oh, did that just work? Oh my god, that just worked. Still not out of the water yet. Alright, Luminous Bonds. This is kind of cool. So I'm going to play Dark Dweller Oracle. I'm going to immediately sack Pelakka Wurm, which draws me a card, gives me another spell for the turn, and then Gravedigger back Pelakka Wurm. Alright, so sack this. I guess I should use all my green mana first, which I didn't really think about. Sack Pelakka Wurm, draw a card. Lathliss. Exile in Electrify, which I'm just going to cast to not lose it. Get rid of their 1 relevant creature on board. And then I can play Rupture Spire for the turn. Say yes. And can I afford to attack with Pelakka Wurm here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's assume they have an Inspire in charge. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's pretty rough. I'm not going to attack this turn. We'll see if they have another answer to this Pelakka Wurm. They must have just drawn that Luminous Bonds. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. 10 mana, I can play Lathliss plus Gravedigger. Ooh, Skyrider Patrol. So that explains the blue splash. We're going to have a Lathliss here. They can't really attack this turn. Draconic Disciple. Alright, well, going to stick to the plan here. I think I attack with Pelakka Wurm number 1. Play Gravedigger and Lathliss, and then we have backup Pelakka Wurm next turn. We've resolved 2 Pelakka Wurms this game. We're going to resolve a 3rd. And yes, I would love to use the ability. Plus we have Lathliss on board now, so I'm not too worried about Skyrider Patrol. Opponent doesn't seem to have removal in their hand. We're at a virtual 24 life. Dark Dweller can start sacking off things like Gravedigger to hopefully draw into some action. We've already drawn a big chunk of lands too. Ooh, they do have a Luminous Bond, so maybe I am scared of Skyrider. Gives me a decent creature to sack to Dark Dweller at the very least. Alright, so they're going to give, what, Rox Oracle flying? Yeah, 5, 6, 7 this turn. Alright, this is going to be a close game. Both players have gained a lot of life. I guess I can make a 5-5 with this at some point. Alright, so do I want to sack this now? I guess I played a land first, so I messed that up a little bit. I think I'm just going to play both of these this turn, sack that next turn. Can attack with Pelakka Wurm. Opponent has double Luminous Bonds. Pretty good. Alright, go up to 17. Opponent can 2-turn clock us. Man, we've drawn a lot of lands this game. Kind of worked out, though. At least we got to play a game with our kind of absurd nonsense. What is this coming down here? Dwarven Priest. That changes things a little bit. They gain 6. It's not irrelevant. Are they going to... Oh, keep in mind they're also gaining life off Vanguard. This is a good game. We're going to take 8 in the air. Next turn it'll be 9 in the air, but we'll have this thing to potentially block, as long as I leave enough mana up. Could draw... I have not drawn my Lich's Caresses yet. Gonna go and sack this. Use the green mana again, because we've already cast our 2 green spells. I guess we have a Draconic Disciple, but... Rise from the Grave. Oh. Can I play it this turn? Wow. Alright, so check this out. First off, is there anything better to get back? Nah. I didn't come here to be a punk. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Double Pelakka Wurm coming in. Not really doing any math here. Alright, throwing away a creature to soak up 4 damage. That's pretty good. They still take 10. And then now I can sack Pelakka Wurm. And then play Rise from the Grave on Pelakka Wurm, plus I get to draw another card. And I have Spark Tongue and Mind Rot. Alright, Rise from the Grave, Pelakka Wurm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gain 7 life. Play Mind Rot, get rid of your last 2 cards. Pass. And then I have Spark Tongue next turn to take this thing out, assuming they can't kill me on this following turn from 16. They discarded Greenwood, two Vigilant symmetrical creatures. Oh boy. That's the 4th Pelakka Wurm. Okay. Oh my god, this video is great. I don't even care if we lose this match. Woo! Skyrider Eel looks like their only splash for what it's worth. Again, I have 0 ways to interact, or 0 ways to effectively sideboard. So let's run it back. We got very lucky that game that our opponent wasn't a little bit more aggressive. We also didn't show him double Lich's Caress, but oh man, this guy, where are you? This thing definitely pulled its weight. It turned, I mean, it drew me like 4 extra cards that game. Oh my god. I'm kind of ecstatic that we got to resolve 4 Pelakka Wurms. Alright, we're on the draw. Let's see. Alright, I like it. Blocks early. It has Electrify for something big. Gravedigger. Yeah, this is the type of grindy hand I want, where I have some amount of my colors in my opening hand and can do some blocking early on and then hopefully draw into the late game stuff. 1 green source out of the way for the worm. We'll see what comes down this turn. It doesn't look like I'm going to need a blocker right yet, so I will play Rupture Spire this turn. And ship it back. We have Electrify mana for something super problematic that comes up. Probably save it for a stag or something along those lines, or something that just beats down. Ooh, Rejuvenator's good. I don't want to see Vigilant Baloth. That's one of the few cards that won't die to Electrify. But I would like to get that Herald of the Faith. This turn, I don't think my opponent's going to give me the opportunity to upgrade a Doom Dissenter, so I'll just go and play it out. Alright, what you got to follow up with? Show me the Herald so I can just pop that one. Good. I'll electrify this right away. Okay. I would like to get that down, but I do think it's probably more important to just mitigate the threats from my opponent for now. Again, I can cast my Lich's Caresses. Draconic Disciple is my second green source. Next turn I can go Disciple plus Instigator, which is great. Looks like we're going to have another 5-drop on our hands, though. Rox Oracle. We can deal with that one. In fact, Instigator trades for Rox Oracle, which is why I don't like the card very much, although my opponent... Ooh, nice. My opponent does, you know, have a lot to do with their mana. We are going to need to draw the third green source at some point, but this turn's pretty straightforward. We're going to go Disciple into Instigator and just pass. I guess at some point, if things don't go, you know, completely well, we have the ability to just turn this into a 5/5. Oh, something big. Thornhide Wolves. All right. Thornhide Wolves isn't insane. It's definitely pretty good. Ooh, really? That seems bizarre. Let's go ahead and... I don't actually want to block with this one. I want to block with the Instigator. The reason I'm blocking with this one is I might want to get it back with Gravedigger or something like that. It seems weird that my opponent would accept that trade. They might have a Titanic Growth here. Yeah, and they upgraded this into a 2/2, which can just block their other thing. All right, we do not want to draw extra lands here, though. So I think I'm going to hold off on Gravedigger because it can get the Disciple back if they deal with the 5/5. That being said, I can just go Gravedigger into Dissenter and keep up the blocks for now until hopefully I draw another green source. Problem is if I sack this, I lose a green source. So it might be right to just go ahead and play my spells this turn. I guess Doom Dissenter is probably better. It's essentially a 1/1 and a 2/2, as opposed to 2 1/1s, just delayed. And next turn we can go for the Disciple. We'll see. If we draw a green source, then we're not going to go for the Disciple, obviously. If we draw a force, we can just cast Pelakka Wurm. A Johnny's Last Stand. Okay, that's problematic. It's just a 4/4, essentially. I think I can afford to take the first hit for 4. They might have board... No, they probably have it in their main board. Card's just fine. All right. All right. Pelakka Wurm it is. Makes me wish I had kept my whatchamacallit, but does the trick. They've been, let's see if they've been holding on to the Luminous Bonds. Could attack into them, give them the option to turn this into a 4/4. And then if they deal with my stuff, they swing back. Nah, let's see if they have Luminous Bonds here. If they use a Luminous Bonds on this, then I get to play the Disciple, or use the Disciple. So I will block this turn, block some number of creatures on Thornhide Wolves. I'm going to lose, I think I have to go for a block with everything, right? But most of these I don't care about losing. I'm only going to lose 2 2/2s or maybe a Goblin plus Dissenter plus Gravedigger. I'm going to go ahead and go for the all-in block. Let them do what they want here. Their best blocks are probably kill the zombie and Gravedigger. No, they killed a 1/1 token instead of a 2/2, and they get to make a 4/4 flyer. And we draw Spark Tongue. And we have 8 mana on board. Spark Tongue's not insane here. Just kills another threat, takes out a residual force of residual form of life gain. Yeah, let's go ahead and drop it. Well, I guess I'm supposed to wait, right? Wait till it comes in to use the ability. I'd like to hold off on this as much as possible in case we draw the second Pelakka Wurm. Yeah. I take this out? Yeah, I think I just take that out. Dealing 3 to them is a bit essentially the same as, you know, or not dealing 3 to them. If I deal 3 to them, they're just going to gain it back over the course of 3 turns. So let's go and do this. Pay, kill your Vanguard, call it a day. And maybe they start smacking me with a 4/4, in which case I can start smacking them back. They have 3 cards. Maybe another Luminous Bonds would be okay. Another big creature, a Colossal Dreadmaw, something like that would be a problem. Alright, here comes the 4/4. And just pass the turn. Alright, so now I don't have to feel bad about sacking this thing at all. I'm going to play my lands out because I have that little Oracle guy. Oracle guy seems like he doesn't care. Or I'm thinking about my attacks here and also trying to speak at the same time. It's not working out. The Oracle guy wants me to have as much mana on board as possible. Like, I want to be able to play him, sack Pelakka Wurm, and also cast a spell if I hit one off of it. Right now, we're just racing, and I'm going to go for the block. Opponent realize that's not going to work, so let's go ahead and make our guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And draw Walking Corpse. Well, we do have some stinkers in our deck, right? We knew about that all along. 5/5 coming in. Still have not drawn a single Lich's Caress. Not playing around Cleansing Nova either. Cleansing Nova is very good with Ajani's Last Stand, though. I've had both of those in a sealed pool before. Against an opponent's Ajani's Last Stand, nonetheless. Yeah, see, if I had just shot them for 3 by this point, they would have already gained it back with the Vanguard, plus they would just be gaining extra life beyond that, so it was right to kill the Vanguard there. 6-drop coming down? This could be scary. We still have, like, Lathless, another Pelakka Wurm. Oh, Prodigious Growth. Oh, maybe we're just dead. Now would be a great time. If I could just call one shot off the top, I would love a Lich's Caress. Let me just get it one time. Just once. That's all I ask for. Brawl Bash. That doesn't do anything, does it? Can I even soak up enough flying damage next turn? 3, 5. I have to double jump. Alright. Well, I mean, I guess I attack with the 2/2s here. Soaking up 8, taking 3. Yeah, I can get in that Doom Dissenter too. Play Brawl Bash. Hope they don't have a way to augment this even more. Wow, Prodigious Growth. Our deck is pretty good against our opponent's deck, or at least our removal should match up well against theirs. This card's pretty good, I think. Pretty good. Uh-oh, they have something else to put on it? Oh, Hieromancer's Cage. We're just dead. They must have drawn that off the top. They would have played that a long time from now. Yeah, I can't live through this turn, unfortunately. Draw a card. Lathless. Draw a second card. Neonate. So we were not going to get there. Lathless may have been able to block. Nah. Alright. We don't have, unfortunately, any naturalizes, so we're just going to have to run it back and hope we get a little lucky. Feel like we've already gotten our fair share of luck this game, but asking for some of our, good removal spells, I don't think is asking for too much. Knowing that they have Knightly Valor and Talons of Wildwood and also Prodigious Growth makes me want to leave up my removal and hope to blow them out in response. Well, Lich's Caress is a sorcery, but if we just top-decked it there, there's no way we're losing that game. But these have been 2 pretty good games so far. We're on the play here. I almost kind of want to be on the draw against this opponent. But I also don't want them to go like turn 2 Greenwood Sentinel, turn 3 Aura, and just stomp us. Yeah, I'll play first. This hand is solid. 3 colors. I can cast all my spells up to the point where I get them. I have turn 3 interaction with the board in Skymarch Bloodletter, and some pretty good things to follow up with if we draw lands. We do not want to be drawn into a bunch of Pelakka Wurms at this point. And we'll see what happens. There's the Greenwood Sentinel. This is how it begins. Tap land is a turn late, but I am going to get Bloodletter on board here. Tap land next turn, that's fine. Hopefully no Oakenform or something like that. Could even just trade here, to be honest. I have Gravedigger. Yeah. This game is going to go long, I think. Ooh, and they didn't even have something to play there. That's pretty good. Hopefully I can just untap and electrify some things here. If not, I can Gravedigger. I'll hold on to Gravedigger for now and just electrify any big threats that come down. I don't think I have to worry too much about that one, but I'll consider it. Do have 2 of my green sources already. Could just play Spark Tongue here. Probably right to play Spark Tongue. Actually, what happens if they go Aura on this? I'm going to pass and electrify their boy. If they attack, I'm going to take 2 and then electrify on their end step. But there's a chance they go for like Knightly Valor on this. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And there's a chance they just untap and play Herald of Faith or something like that. Or Leonin Vanguard. Alright. Sure. Wonder if the opponent's playing around my stuff or if they just... that's basically all they have. Could hold on to Spark Tongue here. I don't really love Rise from the Grave. Spark Tongue had a lot of value earlier in the other game, but don't see anything I want to Rise from the Grave. I just can't really beat them if they go untap Prodigious Growth this. I don't want to electrify this thing, but if they Prodigious Growth it, I might have to. Play Spark Tongue. Get some amount of pressure on board. Opponent's probably on some amount of removal spells as well. They haven't had an opportunity to really use a removal spell on a creature yet. Ooh, this thing. That's worth electrifying and possibly bringing back, although I can't use the ability. Neither can they. Alright. Boom. 3, 4. Not really the creatures I was hoping to electrify this game, if I'm being honest. But we still got some stuff going on, so I don't feel too bad about it. Can beat most things at the moment except for Giant Flyers. And I'm set to cast most of my spells. I'm 1 green source away from Pelakka Wurms. I can cast Lathliss. I can cast my Lich's Caresses. Alright, here comes the Prodigious Growth on the Leonin Vanguard. Didn't see that coming. Lich's Caress, please. Can I have it one time? Just blow my opponent out of the water here, please. Help me out, deck. There's 2 of you in there. I know you're in there. I have faith. If not, I'm going to have to, like, Rise from the Grave. Something dumb. Or Gravedigger. Why is my opponent stopped on my upkeep now? I think I've got 2 turns to do something about this. If my opponent ever lets me draw for my turn, of course. Unfortunately, Pelakka Wurms aren't good draws here. I guess they're not terrible if I draw a green source next turn. But I'd have to draw, like, tapped source this turn into Pelakka Wurm the turn after and, like, go for a double block on this. As it is, I'm just attacking them for 4, playing Gravedigger, I suppose. Maybe Dwarven Priest. That's not good. Dwarven Priest could buy us another turn, potentially. So I guess it's going to be Sparky T here. Getting in there. And then we'll play Gravedigger Doom Dissenter. Basically giving us one more solid turn to draw one of the two Lich's Caress in our deck. Yep. Yeah. Opponent's going to hit us for a billion. 5 mana. Uh-oh, they're going to... Oh, Knightly Valor. Man, they're going all in on this, aren't they? That doesn't really change anything for us. Guess we can soak up 2 damage this turn and upgrade our Doom Dissenters. Seems reasonable. Doesn't change how many creatures on board. Probably going to have to Rise from the Grave Dwarven Priest to survive, if that even lets us survive. I hate you, game. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do have a bunch of toughness on board. Maybe I can just play Bloodletter this turn. Rise from the Grave Dwarven Priest gains us 5 life. Either way, I get 2 power on board. Alright, we're going to go... not 100% sure what to do here. We have outs, but we're not drawing them, so we have to survive and hope our opponent doesn't have very much. So we're going to go Rise back Dwarven Priest. And just ship the turn here, hoping to quintuple block this Vanguard. And then even then, we have to find a way to deal with our opponent's next couple of threats. Like, what happens if they play a Johnny's Last Stand and then just offer the block? Looks like they... Oh, Diamond Mare. Okay, I don't care about Diamond Mare, actually. I guess this pushes it up to 11-11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have exactly 11 power. Uh-oh, another spell? Not another spell. That's what I don't want. Oh, Talons. That's going to make it 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm just out of range. Alright, so I need to throw a bunch of blockers in front. Something like this. Take 6 down to 2 and one time. Lich's Caress off the top. Opponent's really slow rolling us here. Hey, all right. Thank you, game. Love you. And we're back in it. Not completely out of the water. Opponent has 1 card left. They have Talons in their graveyard, but whew, we did it. Now, hey, if I can just get what I asked for, can I have my green source? Oh, take Vengeance. All right. They took Vengeance on us. It's not the worst thing, though. I'd rather him use it on that than one of our other creatures. Think we throw the token in front. And what color did this name? White. Get back Talons, I assume. Oh no, they're going to play something else. Thornhide Wolves, pretty strong. Dark Dweller Oracle, could be something. Not this turn, I'm just going to play out some creatures. Probably going to get back their Talons, I assume. Game is not over. Game is not over. Don't really want to put a bunch of blockers in front of Thornhide Wolves. Kind of want this to survive, but I also don't want to give them a bunch of draws if I can avoid it. I can trade 2 creatures here for Thornhide Wolves and just be left with Gravedigger. Or I can take a hit for 5, hope to either Luck Sack or use Dark Dwellers. I think I've just got to go for the block while I can and hope to draw out of this. Yeah, so it's my Gravedigger versus their 2/4 Trampler next turn. Okay. I will draw anything here that doesn't get run over by a 2/4 Trampler. Still have... No, I don't have an Electrify left in my deck. I do have 1 Lich's Caress. I have Lathliss. probably a tap land in order to cast this. They did get their Talons back, so they have Talons plus 1 unknown card in their hand. We have Brawl Bash, which does something here. They decided not to put Talons on Diamond Mare. Oh, and the natural green source off the top. All right, we're going to go attack with Brawl Bash for 3 only. Not going to get too greedy, and then just play Pelakka Worm. I don't think they currently have Brawl Bash, or they don't have Luminous Bonds in hand, otherwise they probably would have played it on Brawl Bash and then enchanted this and attacked. Man, we got very lucky this game. The game's still not over. 5 mana. Oh, they have their Herald. Wonder if that's enough. They might have to block with it. Plus they have Talon, so they can put that on Herald. We just gained 7 life, though. Or they could put it on Diamond Mare. We'll do the math when it comes to our turn, because we can't really make decisions now anyway. Might be able to kill them. If I attack with Bolt, that's 12 damage. Assuming I sack something, that's 12. They can't take that. Alright, so let's think here. If I attack with both, Dark Dweller Oracle's dead already, so I can keep that in hand. Alright, if I attack with both and sack Gravedigger to Brawl Bash Ogre, then that is lethal. They can either double block Brawl Bash, or they can just concede instead of making me figure it out. Awesome. Okay, well, I didn't think our deck was going to do anything other than 0-3 there, but we managed to snag the 2-1, and after a extremely poor showing in the first match, and an extremely quick set of concessions, which I apologize for, but there was no way we were winning those games. Opponent just kind of stomped us with the green creatures, but I'm surprised we got to do anything, and I hope that was at least fun to watch. This has been How Not to Draft with Mana Rocks, so yeah, at least I can come out of this draft saying I had fun, which is, I usually have fun in these drafts, but this might be the most fun deck I've played so far. Anyway, that's going to go ahead and do it. Before I go, reminder to everybody who's watching to A, like, comment, and subscribe. Do that. It helps out, I guess, maybe. And 2, give me feedback on the video and the sound quality. If the sound still sounds weird like my previous video, let me know. If the video is off for some reason, I think it might get uploaded in widescreen, then let me know if that's a problem. And otherwise, just leave a comment, let me know what you thought of this draft. But be constructive, be polite. I know it's a derailed draft. I know it wasn't a great draft. I'm not saying I had an insane deck or anything, but I got a little bit lucky. Got that Lich's Crest, got to play Magic, had fun. Anyway, that's going to go ahead and do it for this time. There will be more core set drafts in the future. My name's Timothy with Mana Rocks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.